Right now, I'm going to teach you a meditation for anxiety exercise for overcoming deep regrets and general mistakes. That's only 2 minutes, so you can finally stop stress and anxiety and take control of your life. This meditation for anxiety technique is the 7th of 7 in this week's series. It's super simple and you will know how well it works for you straight away. After the 2-minute meditation for anxiety, I'll also outline how to reduce self-criticism, develop life purpose, and guide you in integrating everything you learned today in a special finale exercise. I'm Speed Psychologist and best-selling author Aleks George, and we're now in session. First, give yourself a current mood rating, 1 being very low to 10 being very high mood, and a second 1 being very low to 10 being very high stress/anxiety rating. Just go with whatever mood number or stress anxiety number that first comes to mind. Now, I need you to promise me that I will have your full attention and best effort for just 2 minutes, okay? If you are sure that you can do that right now, then get ready. Also, please note, make sure you are in a safe place, and if you feel unusually uncomfortable during any exercise, stop immediately and go have a drink of water. So, are you ready? Really? To feel better? Just 2 minutes from now. You sure? Great. Let's begin. Sit up tall, shoulders back, head up, and close or shield your eyes if safe to do so. Now follow my simple instructions. Bring all your attention to wherever you feel a sense of regret in your body. All of it. Fully focus on this unsettled place. Only that place, right there. Only this place. You don't have to change it. Simply notice, focus, and let go of everything else. Like leaves floating down a river, or clouds evaporating as they pass by. Allow your thoughts and any other feelings to rise and recede, to come and go in their own time. Something unpleasant has happened. Mistakes were made, and what is done cannot be undone. Time to unfast the cast that did bind your mind and body to the past. It was not meant to last and has served its purpose. Choose to use these moments now to feel and peel away the decay and heal in a new way. See the truth of it not as it was, but as it is now, and how you change with a range of new lessons moving ahead. Choose to lose any tension or apprehension, any anxiety, worry, or stress, and exclusively experience the success of simply being present in this place, safe in this moment, and the next. Unfast the cast, unbind your mind, and find your way forward. That's right. That's right. That's it. We're done. Simple, right? Easy, hey? Feeling better? I'm sure. Really, check in now and review if your mood and stress anxiety scores have improved. If you gave me your full attention and best effort, then I bet they have. How much did they improve? 10%? 20? 30? 50? Or more? And in just 2 minutes? If your scores didn't improve, that's okay. You may just need a few more repetitions, or may find it easier to benefit from a different 2-minute brain exercise. I will release 7 related meditations over the week, and they're always just a couple of minutes. Each exercise builds on the last, and they become easier to do and more effective as you get used to them. Here's a quick former client quote of the day. I am now an optimist. Alex's rapid positive thinking strategies have transformed the way that I deal with negative people and setbacks. I now understand why people become negative and am more understanding of them without having to accept what they do. I don't doubt myself anymore. I'm not scared of what people think of me, and I don't feel guilty about living my life in the way that's right for me. Thank you, Marty. Before we move on, I want you to really consider how your life could be better by consistently using these kinds of exercises. What would it be like to be in control and unaffected rather than being controlled by the news and social media, work bullies, and negative people? What would it feel like to have greater peace of mind and focus so you can perform at your best and feel good about who you are and what you do? In a moment, I'm going to answer 1 or 2 modern psychology questions from the community. To connect with me and the community, just go to 2minutebrain.com and join the email list. You can, of course, like, rate, subscribe, and follow me on this channel, but to enjoy free giveaways like my best-selling books and programs, which are only available to subscribers through the website, and to personally ask me and get an answer to your own important psychology question, it must be through my free-to-join email list. Questions like, do you think everyone should have some form of therapy? And what would the world look like if that was the case? Or, how do I find the meaning of my life? Do I need to? And has culture been built on a foundation of exploitation of both nature and people? All of these topics I will address in future sessions. The only way you will be able to ask me your question is by reply emailing me once you're on the list. The sooner you join, the more bonus goodies you'll get, like early access benefits to the 2-Minute Brain app currently in development that takes exercises like the one you just experienced and connects them sequentially with others into fantastic brain-flowing peak performance experiences. It will allow you to become your own mental health and peak performance DJ. Sound good? Really good? Almost too good? Then go sign up now and get all the latest updates from the 2minutebrain.com email list. Okay, riddle me this, Bat Psych. Who is your favorite 18th to 19th century composer who also went deaf? Geez, that's kind of specific. Beethoven. Okay, the actual question is, why do we always criticize ourselves the most? Well, what we think about most is ourselves, and in particular our relationship to ourselves and to others. So like it or not, we are our own favorite topic. And as I said before, we're not designed for happiness primarily, but survival. So happiness, which I spoke about in the last session, must be trained. Now, being self-critical doesn't feel great, but often leads us to be safer. Survival is our instinctive #1 priority. So including our psychological survival, or more generally, our comfort. Now, it is rare to experience something so devastating as to threaten our own sense of identity. We are generally risk averse. We don't like making mistakes, and so it leads to less risk taking, which is generally fine, but in the short term it's fine, but not necessarily in the long term, because we also need to develop and grow to feel good. We need to manage risks in order to develop ourselves. So here is where self-criticism often comes in. We don't want to fail in the short term, but we may have to fail in striving to learn and grow and improve ourselves in the longer term. Being self-critical may also actually be effective in the short term, as you are driven to change if the painful thought of failure may lead you to stop enjoying what you're doing and drive you to do something, which is good. But if you're constantly driven by that pain, then eventually you'll burn out in the longer term. So it's important to try and understand the positive intent behind any self-criticism, and B, to seek to be kinder and more encouraging to yourself, not unlike how you would when encouraging a young child to learn something new. So it's a dance between understanding, accepting, and letting go of negative thoughts, which I spoke about on Monday, whilst encouraging kinder and more empowering thoughts, such as saying to yourself, I know I could fail and that would hurt, but I am capable and I will find a way to figure it out. So something like that kind of self-talk can really help. So don't ignore, but celebrate your capabilities. Finally, it's important to remember some self-criticism is natural and healthy. Without this, you would be a psychopath. Okay, psychopaths would rarely be self-critical, and their self-aggrandizement and focus leads them to ruin their relationships and abuse others. So some self-criticism is needed to maintain humility, and humility is always important. Want to ask me your own question? Just go over to 2minutebrain.com and join the email list. At the moment, I'm personally answering people's questions pretty quickly, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow me on this channel. I'm happy to answer questions on mental health, such as stress, anxiety, mood, painful events, happiness, work-life performance, relationships, intimate, family, friends, kids, and of course the state of the world and why we do what we do. Before we continue, I want to explain what 2-Minute Brain is all about, because it's both as simple and not as simple as it seems. The first and most obvious goal is to offer the fastest and most practical methods to reduce mental health struggles and reach peak performance, so you can meet the demands of this often overwhelming and ultra-competitive modern world. The sad truth is, you do have to learn how to consistently be at your best, or you will be left behind. That's what these speed brain rewiring strategies are all about. These are the essential skills, but that's only the part of the iceberg that's above the surface. The second, much deeper goal is about members of this community reaching their highest forms of self-expression. Here, we are no longer talking about peak performance, but peak freedom. Good living is not just about productively functioning well. It's about wrestling with complex moral issues, paradoxical laws of nature, human contradiction, and seeking profound and immeasurable truths. This is where we dive deeply into the murky depths of existence and seek to free our self-expression. And in true 2-Minute Brain style, I'll also explore these topics just a couple minutes at a time via an impassioned monologue. So stick around if you want to spread your arms wide, crank up Celine Dion to volume 11, and safely explore rather than crash into the iceberg that is human consciousness and potential. But first, another riddle for Bat Psych. What was your favorite early 90s family movie starring a huge drooling Saint Bernard? Once again, that's very specific, but I'm going to say Beethoven. Now, the actual question is there such a thing as life purpose? And if so, how does one find their own? Yes and no. A life purpose is a made-up idea, but in general, it is an empowering and healthy one. And so if you choose to believe in a life purpose, it will most likely be beneficial. The key to purpose is authenticity. Often we end up in jobs, careers to look good in society, or because our parents want us to, or simply because it pays a lot, but overlook what our heart truly wants and what our mind truly excels at, which is something subjective. It's meaningful to us. And this, I believe, can cause mental health problems such as depression. A sense of purposelessness is often a key symptom of burnout and depression. There are ways to help find purpose via looking to understand your psychological strengths and values, which can be a lengthy process. In simple terms, it's about reviewing what you are passionate about and good at, and then bringing them together in a way that would best serve yourself and others based on your current opportunities and capabilities. I may also refer to this more in a future Practical Monday. That's the active way, but there's also the explorative method. So it's not always about finding it, but it finding you. Life is about experiencing as much as possible and reflecting on it. Keep testing things that may be of interest and write about it and discuss it, and that too can lead to a germination of purpose. Of course, the active and explorative can and should be used in combination. So you tick all the boxes of these key things of strengths and passions, and you search them out and you help get people to help you with that, and then you explore and you integrate everything you explore into a greater sense of purpose. And also remember, you don't have to find your ultimate purpose immediately. Only what is meaningful right now is fine. As you go through different stages of your life, it'll change. Your life purpose can and should be flexible. Okay, so when your purpose at 20 should be different at 50 in most cases. So enjoy that and enjoy exploring and more focused elements of finding your life purpose. We're nearing the end of today's session. Soon I will summarize it all and get you focused on using what you have found most helpful in one final, fun and fast meditative exercise. But before the finale, it's time for today's 2-minute monologue, which usually consists of a metaphorical poetic performance where I often intentionally don't give clear advice or answers. That will hopefully stimulate you to also explore and find your own deeper truths within and greater self-expressive courage. It's our 5th Symbolic Saturday. Today's brief poetic monologue is titled, "What is My Reality?" Through the Veil, and is a poetic piece illustrating a difficult journey to the other side of consciousness. What is my reality? Through the veil. What is my reality? Is it to be filled with catastrophe and fatality, or peace and clarity? There is a veil that shifts in form. Sometimes it appears as razor thin, and at other times as thick as steel. What does a journey through the veil entail? When razor thin, a leap through will slice you open. As faintness, dizziness, and confusion arises, preconceptions recede. Indeed, the need to bleed profusely with an opening of wounds is required. A sting is always attached to greater freedom. That sting brands the memories from whence you came. When still thick, the trick is to set your heart ablaze. A passionate heat can melt a tunneling passage for you, on hands and knees to shimmy through. As shakiness, breathlessness, and exhaustion arises, preconceptions recede. Indeed, a need to succeed is required to withstand the battering and bruising. A soreness is always attached to liberating exertions. A frazzled body is the result of passionate drives into the unknown. Once beyond the veil, whether through thin sharp blades or heavy thick steel, whether bleeding or bruised, healing occurs. Beyond the veil is purity, strength, and grandeur. Beyond the veil is energy, history, and infinity. Beyond the veil, despite periods of incomprehensible chaos, is peace. Magnificent leaps and great exertions lead to peace. Bleedings and bruisings offer tranquility. Embracing chaos creates stillness. Risking death sharpens life. A journey through the veil requires one to step outside themselves, but still carry all they were through it too. To change who you are, you must simultaneously make peace with who you were. If you're having fun, make sure you like and subscribe and follow this channel, and also go to 2minutebrain.com and join the email list. Now, let's bring all of it meaningfully together in an integrative exercise that will conclude today's session. Sit up tall, shoulders back, head up, and close or shield your eyes if safe to do so. Now listen and follow along closely. Unfast the cast. Whenever you need to, you can always unfast the cast. Unbind your mind and find your way forward past any regret. Now consider what you learned today about why we criticize ourselves the most and how to stop it. Things like embracing the learning process, which requires initial failures, increasing kindness and self-encouragement, ongoingly recognizing and celebrating your capabilities, or something else. Also now consider what you learned today about developing a life purpose. Things like striving to live authentically, exploring interests and being open to varying life experiences, reviewing and bringing your passions and strengths together to serve others, or something else. Of all these things, what most struck a chord and feels right? Envision how you will use this now and in the future, and notice how you will have changed looking back on this moment and the next, all the way until you are where you wish to be. Finally, remember, you can leap into the unknown and come out the other side happier and wiser. Chaos and calm are not always in opposition, and neither are the conflicting elements within you. Agreements and higher understandings are always possible. Allow all the lessons now to come together, to ripple through you, and now changed back out into the world. That's right. That's right. To connect with me and the community, just go to 2minutebrain.com and join the email list. You can, of course, like, rate, subscribe, and follow me on this channel, but to enjoy free giveaways like my best-selling books and programs, which are only available to subscribers through the website, and to personally ask me and get an answer to your own important psychology question, it must be through my free-to-join email list. Questions like, do you think everyone should have some form of therapy? And what would the world look like if that was the case? Or, how do I find the meaning of my life? Do I need to? And has culture been built on a foundation of exploitation of both nature and people? All of these topics I will address in future sessions. The only way you will be able to ask me your question is by reply emailing me once you're on the list. The sooner you join, the more bonus goodies you'll get, like early access benefits to the 2-Minute Brain app currently in development that takes exercises like the one you just experienced and connects them sequentially with others into fantastic brain-flowing peak performance experiences. It will allow you to become your own mental health and peak performance DJ. Sound good? Really good? Almost too good? Then go sign up now and get all the latest updates from the 2minutebrain.com email list. And I'll see you, all of you, whether you believe it yet or not, in our next session.